One day I come into the office and there's an email there. It's got the title Only in Argentina, and there are photographs of a shop stacked high with these vintage blue boxes, tracksuit boxes and shoe boxes.
You just saw a sea of blue boxes on the walls.
It's the type of thing that you would have expected to see maybe 30 years ago.
So I got in contact with somebody from Adidas Argentina and asked if they could go and check out the store and verify that it existed, but more importantly, verify that the stock levels were like they were on the photographs.
And you just don't know, someone's already been there and taken all the good bits. I say a picture's a picture, but you don't know how up to date it is or what the reality is.
I get an email back from Adidas Argentina basically saying, this is amazing, it's incredible, we had no idea it was there. So we set about proposing to Adidas this idea that we should take a couple of notorious collectors down to Argentina
to document the store, interview the owner and find out what was going on there. And what we actually found there was way beyond our wildest dreams. We arrived in Argentina on 21st of January 2014. It was an incredibly hot day. We were collected the following morning, jumped in a rickety old bus and taken down through Buenos Aires to one of the suburbs.
We're in a minibus heading there, and I say it's sort of all this anticipation is building up because obviously you're getting closer to that point.
And eventually arrived on quite a nondescript street where we could see what was obviously the store that we'd seen in the pictures. It was kind of immediately apparent that what lay in wait inside the store. We saw some things in the window that were products that we hadn't seen for a long time.
You know, you've got old product in there, you've got old shoes in the window, you've got trophies, you've got shoe bags and tennis balls, but everything's old.
As we stepped inside the store, it really was like stepping into Aladdin's cave, really.
You know, you just sort of like, wow.
Wall to wall, floor to ceiling, sky blue boxes.
I've been to quite a lot of places where I found lots of good old shoes, but seeing that wall in the flesh was something else. You know, the old counter with the glass on it and, you know, all the wooden drawers. It's like a take back in time. Quantum leap. You've gone back in time and just found this room of treasures.
Mi nombre es Carlos Ruiz. Yo nací en la provincia de Santiago del Estero. Tienda la tengo hace 34 años que se va a cumplir precisamente este mes. Y yo tendría que haber dicho, bueno, esto lo continúo como una terapia de un accidente que tuve. Que si no tengo esto, para colmo me quedé absolutamente solo, al tener un solo hijo que ya se casó, y yo enviudé, y bueno, estar encerrado en la casa te trae fantasmas. La venida de la gente de Europa a visitar a este negocio realmente me sorprendió, a su vez me halagó, despertó mi ego, y llegué a la conclusión de que hice bien en conservar algunas cosas, todas las que pude, y no desprenderme así abiertamente a través de un remate, una liquidación. Yo sabía que un producto noble que iba a perdurar.
He agreed to close his shop for 2 days and let us basically go through his stock, which was quite a challenge in itself, because much as the boxes were laid out immaculately, they were in no particular style or size order.
The day that we arrived at the store was one of the hottest days on record in Buenos Aires. That was made worse by the fact that they had a power cut, so there's no air conditioning in the store.
It was in its 40s, but whatever needs to be done, so we just start wading in.
It really was an amazing sight to behold, to be honest with you.
In this day and age, to find so much vintage Adidas, it's crazy. Meticulously, you want to go through every single box. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity to find something that you can never find again.
The feeling in the store was electric. The vibe that was going on between us all that had gone on the trip was just insane. Every time we opened a box, people were shouting from different parts of the store.
You're finding, all these old shoes, this Adidas Coach and indoor shoes, and like in colours that you hadn't seen before. Indoor running shoes in like a sort of sky blue with silver stripes and gum sole, and vintage runners that were made in Argentina. Has lots of little individual derivatives or versions of some shoes but also some that you don't know at all. In this day and age, to find so much vintage Adidas, it's crazy.
There was a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. I remember walking into the bathroom to wash my hands. The tap barely worked in the bathroom. And as I'm trying to wash my hands, I noticed that underneath the sink there's all these shoe boxes, and there's probably 30 pairs of original equipment guidance shoes there, all boxed.
What we didn't realise was, as well, at the back of the store was a stock room that was maybe 1.5 times the size of the shop space.
And everywhere you turn, there's like another little corner or a cupboard or a space where you stored shoes. And there's names on these boxes that I don't even know. So everything that I'm opening, I'm just like, I don't know that shoe. Where you had changing rooms above it, you could just sort of see a hint of something. So I'll get the ladder, climbing up on there, and then I see the name Silverwind. And Adidas Silverwind is one of those shoes that I've been looking for a long time. So I take the box, open up the box, I pick up the shoe, and then the sole just falls off. I'm just like, no. Because the upper, perfect condition, nothing wrong with it. But where obviously it's been so humid and they've been there over such a long period of time, you're just getting this sticky, crumbly sole. And obviously, when it's so sticky, as soon as you touch it, it sticks to your fingers, it sticks to the box, it goes everywhere.
The whole thing was just a pretty surreal experience, and we amassed quite a lot of product.
One thing that we hadn't spoken to him about, that we'd held off on discussing, was whether we were going to be able to purchase some of his stock. And so, we started with the slightly uncomfortable discussion of whether he would allow us to buy some of the product from him. It was kind of a very ramshackle negotiation, and it was quite frenzied and frantic as we were trying to get a wide and broad spread of different items for research for the Spezial range, but also for exhibition pieces for the Spezial exhibition.
We did a deal on the products. We buy all the products from him. We take them to Adidas Argentina to have them sent back to the UK. We're having dinner that evening, and me and Robert are still like, we've left stuff there, there's more in there. So we go back the day after. So we go in there and we start pulling more shoes out, and Carlos looks at us and then says, enough, you've had enough.
Gracias.
De nada.
I think it's fair to say that Carlos has a real emotional attachment to the store. There's been lots of highs and lows. It's more than just a store to him. And if I'm honest, when we initially saw the photographs, it appeared more than just a store to us. We realised that there must have been a very strong backstory to it, and it was something that we wanted to explore and find out more about. We felt that it was important to document the store and to interview Carlos.
A very fulfilling journey, and it's one of those ones where you say dreams come true. It's one of those dreams, because I've found many vintage shoes over the years, but this is kind of like one of the biggest finds.
There are lots of differences in age and background between ourselves and Carlos, but there was one common thing that bound us together, and that was an appreciation and a love for the Adidas brand.
It was a really pleasurable experience. After a couple of days, you know, I think he really warmed to us and we really warmed to him, and you know, it was a great trip. It was great meeting Carlos, and yeah, it's definitely one I won't forget.
Si me considero un coleccionista, no sé la definición exacta del coleccionista, pero evidentemente algo debo tener si ya me está costando desprenderme de las cosas. En concreto, como decía hace un rato, que cada producto que se va, uno queda pensando como si fuera un hijo.